Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome to our special coverage for the latest developments in the Gaza Strip. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry stressed on the necessity of the international pressure on Israel for a ceasefire in Gaza. This came during his meeting with the Arab Islamic Committee with the Spanish Foreign Ministry José Manuel Alvarez to discuss the dangerous repercussions of the Israeli aggression on the Gaza Strip. During the meeting, Shoukry expressed his appreciation of the Spanish support to the Palestinian cause and upholding two principles. He underscored that forced displacement of the Palestinians from the Gaza Strip is internationally rejected, pointing that countries that reject this issue have not done necessary measures. Shoukry added that the amount of aid that entered the Gaza Strip is very small as a result of the Israeli procedures that prevent the flow of aid into the Strip. And to shed more light on the issue, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Ambassador Sou'ad Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Ambassador Shalaby, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Ambassador Shalaby, Foreign Minister Shoukry is in Brussels and will head later to New York to participate in the Arab Islamic Ministerial Committee meetings with the Union for the Mediterranean and the Security Council sessions on the Gaza, respectively. Can you shed more light about the importance of these meetings and these gatherings in order to try to find a solution to the Palestinian issue and the escalation in the Gaza Strip?
This committee.
Yes. Yes, Ambassador Shalaby.
Established
yes.
by the summit that took place in Jeddah, I think in Riyadh, for the Islamic and Arab countries in order to establish the ceasefire and the humanitarian truce. And it is very important for this delegation to go around the countries and to that are stakeholders who can take a position and who can pressure the Israeli government to stop this, the war and to establish permanent truce. This mission that Minister Sameh Shoukry is very important because, first of all, is going to establish an initiative to establish a permanent truce, not a temporary one, and to also allow the humanitarian aid to continually go and in bulks, in more than what is happening now. So it is going to be a lot of pressure, and you have seen how much the European leaders are coming to Egypt because
yes, and today we are having the President of Hungary. The President met with her earlier today also to discuss the latest developments on the ground. How do you see all these movements on the ground, and to what extent these movements could help the crisis in Gaza?
Egypt is a leading country in the region, and it has attracted by its policy, it's very diplomatically diplomatically successful diplomatic crisis management. It has taken the attention of the world leaders who have come to Egypt in order to support our mission in order to establish a permanent ceasefire. So Egypt has become the regional leader. It has opened the Rafah borders for 24 hours. It has allowed all the international and the national humanitarian aid to pass through. So I think that Minister Sameh Shoukry is going to have a very successful mission in Spain and in New York in order to allow all the countries that are Mediterranean countries also have been pressuring in order to have a permanent ceasefire. So it's going to be a very important mission for this committee to go to New York and relay all the initiatives that have been placed on the table in order to pressure Israel to continue the truce and to allow more humanitarian aid for those who are in need, great need, especially those in the north of Gaza.
Yes. Yes. Ambassador Shalaby, also on the ground, the truce between Israel and Hamas is entering its final day. Do you believe that we might witness an extension for this truce agreement between the two sides? What's your vision for the coming hours?
Well, I'm very skeptical about this. I'm hoping that it could continue for 1 or 2 more days. But all the declarations of the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, even the Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, is declaring that war will continue as soon as the truce is finished. So let us see. There is a lot of negative media against Israel. There's a lot of demonstrations against Israel and against all the killing of innocent civilians, and against the non-respect of international humanitarian law. Yes. And that is why the Israel authorities should think twice before continuing the war in such a manner, such a devastating manner. So they have to reconsider going back to full-fledged war like it was before. Even Hamas is now asking for an extension of the truce.
Indeed. Ambassador Shalaby, how do you view the crucial role Egypt is playing in the Palestinian file since the beginning of the war?
Egypt has played a very important role. Yes. It was leading all the other countries in the region. It was the first country to hold a peace conference. It was the first country to declare that the borders will be opened for humanitarian aid. It was the biggest donor country, giving all kinds of humanitarian aid for the Palestinians. It has supported the Palestinians from day one. Yeah. And our president have managed to manage very successfully, diplomatically, politically, economically, the crisis in a very successful way that gave the light to the hope to the Palestinians that they will have hope for the future by initiating a solution, a permanent solution for the Palestinians to have their own state, peaceful state beside the Israelis, and also not to humiliate Palestinians, like to give them their rights and to be treated equally, and also to stop the settlement policies that are encouraging over the Palestinians, giving them a very bad life.
Indeed, Ambassador Sou'ad Shalaby, former Assistant Foreign Minister, thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you.
really a very important input. Our dear viewers, during the humanitarian pause, the UN was able to scale up the delivery of the humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip. 200 trucks were dispatched from Nistana to the Rafah border crossing. More details in the following report.
During the humanitarian pause, the United Nations was able to scale up the delivery of humanitarian assistance into and across Gaza. 200 trucks were dispatched from Nitsana to the Rafah crossing. 137 trucks of goods were offloaded by the UNRWA reception point in Gaza, making it the biggest humanitarian convoy received since October 7th. 129,000 liters of fuel and 4 trucks of gas also crossed into Gaza. 21 critical patients were evacuated into a large-scale medical operation from the north of Gaza. Hundreds of thousands of people were assisted with food, water, medical supplies, and other essential humanitarian items. The United Nations welcomes the release of 24 hostages held in Gaza since October 7th and renews its call for the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages. Humanitarian teams from the United Nations and partners will continue to ramp up humanitarian operations to meet the needs of people throughout Gaza in the coming days.
UN official describes the desperation in Gaza as aid convoy delivers the critical supplies. The United Nations called for sufficient number of days to allow the aid access. However, earlier, the UN carried out an operation to evacuate patients from a Shifa hospital in Gaza to Egyptian hospitals.
The United Nations has said Gaza civilians face the immediate possibility of starvation amid mounting concerns about Israel's plans to expand military operations in parts of the south where people have sought refuge from fighting. In cooperation with the Palestine Red Crescent Society, WHO participated in another joint UN mission to transfer 151 patients, relatives, and health workers, accompanying them from a Shifa hospital in northern Gaza. The mission was undertaken following the specific requests from health authorities and the hospital officials in Gaza. This was the third mission to Shifa carried out by WHO. Other UN agencies are partners in less than a week. The first was an assessment mission and the second was an evacuation mission to transport 31 infants. During this mission, the team transferred 73 severely ill and injured patients, including 18 patients with serious spinal injuries, 8 patients with severe chronic conditions, 2 in need of critical care, and 19 patients in wheelchairs. The patients were transported in 14 ambulances supplied and staffed by the Palestine Red Crescent Society and 2 buses with 8 health workers and 70 family members accompanying them. This was a high-risk mission at intense fighting. It took 20 hours for the team to complete the evacuation, including 6 hours at a checkpoint where the team and patients were screened by the Israeli Defense Force. This was despite an initial agreement to only screen participants at the organization point at El Shifa Hospital. The screening process involved checks on the patients, the relatives, and the personnel. After 6 hours of the security checkpoint, the convoy proceeded as the condition of some of the patients was already deteriorating. Patients reached their final destination late at night. Most of the patients were ultimately transferred to the European Gaza hospital. The WHO again asked all relevant authorities to ensure that the medical evacuations that WHO has been requested to assist in can proceed safely under agreed procedures without endangering the lives of patients. Ultimately, the safety, security, and evacuation decisions rest with the relevant authorities.
And our dear viewers, we wrap up our coverage with this report and we leave you there, where the trade exchange between Egypt and other African Union members record about 8.653 billion US dollar in the 2022, according to CAPMAS, the Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, that announced the trade exchange between Egypt and other African Union member states, which did reach 8.653 billion in 2022 compared to 7.48 billion US dollar in 2021. And we leave you, our dear viewers, with this report. I'm Mahis Rabia. Thank you for watching, and on top of the hour, we'll be back with Panorama News.
The Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, CAPMAS, announced that the trade exchange between Egypt and other African Union members reached $8.653 billion in 2022, compared to $7.481 billion in 2021, with an increase of $1.172 billion. In a statement released on Sunday, CAPMAS explained that Egypt's total exports to African Union countries amounted to $6.339 billion in 2022, compared to $5.487 billion in 2021, showing a 15.5% increase. Libya ranked first among the recipient countries of Egyptian exports with a value of $1.215 billion, according to 19.2% of the total bloc, while Sudan ranked second with exports valued at $929 million, representing 14.7% of the total bloc. CAPMAS noted that Morocco ranked third with exports amounting to $822 million, constituting 13% of the total bloc. Algeria came in fourth with an export value of $718 million, representing 18% of the total bloc, and Kenya ranked with fifth with export volume $356 million, making up 5.6% of the total bloc. CAPMAS clarified that the most significant exported goods to African Union countries, including nuts and their products, with a value of $651 million, according to the CAPMAS.